All right, guys, we knew we wouldn't get definitive answers today versus McNeese, but the Aggies absolutely took care of business. They started the game extremely fast, and that's what I wanted to see. I didn't want to see a hangover. I didn't want to see lingering effects from that emotionally draining game. The team came out and scored on like 5 or 6 straight possessions. Connor Wigman, early in the game, wasn't finding receivers, but was taking care of the ball, was having success tucking and running. I thought he looked faster, a little bit quicker today. But on the last drive before he was seated for the game in favor of Marcel Reed, he had his best drive of the night. And he completed a bunch of passes in a row, ended with a couple of touchdown passes. Felt good to see him get that rhythm going. Nothing crazy. It was a super windy game. They didn't take a lot of chances, but they took care of the football, and they ran the ball really, really well. The O-line dominated. They did their job, and that was one of the things I was looking for as well. They had a productive, solid game versus Notre Dame with a good defensive line, and they came out and they dominated versus McNeese and punched huge holes for these running backs to run through. Le'Veon Moss and Amari Daniels were both beasts on the day, and there was good blocking, but even when there was contact, both of them were able to drive piles and drive defenders and just escape and get extra yardage. Really, really positive, good feels for the offense. Noah Thomas got in the end zone. Moose Muhammad started the game surprisingly, and he was there in the first drive at least. I don't know if he started the first play, but he was there in the first drive, and Moose Muhammad played a lot this game. So a big bounce back, good feeling game for a lot of those guys. And of course, you can't take too much, but you didn't beat yourself, and you took care of business. Defensively, also did their job when the starters were out there. It was like 3 and outs. You gave up 1 first down, and you had 2 turnovers. Did what they needed to do. And the only concerning thing was they had some productivity on first downs on the interior running game. Interior D-line didn't have the greatest push, but they were able to bottle things up and get off the field regardless. So keep an eye on that going forward. Secondary, linebackers played a little bit better. I'll have to go back and watch to see exactly how the linebackers did, but secondary played great, and the defense took care of business, especially while the first 2 strings were out there. You got a lot of looks from a lot of players. Marcel Reed looked really good in his time. He started to play late in the second quarter and played the entire game. Had some really good completions, looked really fast out there. Good play from Marcel Reed. Some backup receivers got some looks. Isaiah Williams got in the game. Bethel Roman, Bostic, they all got to play. Backup offensive line. Interestingly, they put in TJ Shanahan pretty early in the game because he's the next man in the interior O-line rotation. I have a feeling it'd be right guard, left guard, and center. TJ Shanahan's the next guy in, and they got him in really early in the game with the ones, and that was really important. I thought he played really well. He's going to play an important role as the first guy off the bench now that Naboo is unfortunately out for the year. Terry Bussey got in the end zone, baby. Huge play, just outran the entire defense. Athlete out there, and he's doing a great job fielding punts. That's a very underrated position, is just being a punt fielder, not even necessarily a great returner. He's done a great job so far, knocking on wood, though, to keep that up. Special teams has been great through the start of the year. Defense gave up 1 bad drive when they had the 3rd and 4th stringers out there. Unfortunate. I thought the D-line wasn't getting a good enough push on that unit, and that was Hicks. That was Samu Tamu Amu Pepe. I didn't think they got enough push there. They couldn't get off the field. Credit to McNeese. They put together a good drive. Let's see those guys get better over the course of the year. But of those 2nd, 3rd, 4th unit guys that got on the game, I thought 2 guys stood out. Jordan Pride, the safety, was all over the field, and Jordan Lockhart, the linebacker, was all over the field. Those guys showed tremendous promise today, made the most of their reps. I'm really excited to see those guys continue to play into the future. But like I said, you were never going to get definitive answers. You're never going to say, oh yeah, we're fine now, we're good now. But it could have gone the other way. You could have played sloppy, you could have played ugly, but you took care of business and you didn't make any really self-inflicted wounds early in the game. Positive play, both sides of the field. You got the job done. I still remain positive about this running game, this offensive line. That attack looks really promising. Connor cleaned some things up, but we're gonna need further context on Connor, on this receiving room, see if they can get open versus a much stronger test next week at Florida. This was always a 2-week cycle coming out of that Notre Dame game. How do you follow up? You were never going to get full answers versus McNeese. You got some. You saw that this team didn't let the effects cause a hangover and mistake football early in this game. That's good. But now you got to go up against real opposition again next week versus Florida, the real test. I'll be dropping videos on that early this week. I'll be going live Monday night. We can start talking about that. Take takeaways from this McNeese game, whatever you have. I'll give you the chance to call in there. 52-10 win versus McNeese, guys. Feels good. Got the job done. And we move on. came out pretty healthy. I didn't see anybody go down. You got the backups in there very, very quickly. Le'Veon Moss was done in the second quarter. Connor Wigman was done in the second quarter. That feels pretty good. But guys, that's it. Short recap today. I will see you guys Monday and Tuesday this coming week. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the games. Get your yard work done. Do whatever you got to do until we have a big one next week versus Florida on ABC. So I'll see you then, and I'll see you throughout this coming week. Have a good one. Gig 'em.